Warframe's 63rd frame, Uriel, was shown off on the most recent dev stream, and he might just be one of the most interesting frames that Digital Extremes has ever put out for one simple reason. He kind of has 7 abilities at once. Okay, hold on, let me explain. So his passive gives him 3 minions, Catanak, Golfagor, and Vithalis, that each essentially give him an extra ability on top of Uriel's normal 4 abilities that they'll cast. Catanak's ability will chain enemies together and spread damage to everyone who's chained, kind of like Kulovo's Collective Curse, which considering it's a minion doing it and the amount of AoE the rest of his kit has, this is going to be pretty insane. Golfagor, on the other hand, will latch onto an enemy, stun them, and when that enemy dies, they'll spawn a bunch of orbs and leave a lingering heat AoE on the ground. So we can already see Uriel's gonna like Archon Vitality and Equilibrium. And finally, Vithalis will wander up to any slain enemy and turn their corpse into a rune that when you walk into it, you'll gain increased fire rate and a heat damage buff to your weapon, and since it showed this little graphic over the weapon, I'm assuming that's going to be a non-combining heat effect. And just as a reminder, that was all just his passive. Now on to his main abilities. His first will give him and his minions an AoE heat aura, and when you bullet jump, you'll fly around in the air. When you aim your weapon while he's flying, you'll start to aim glide to fire off bullets, and then if you stop aiming, then you'll continue flying about. His second ability seems to be his supporting utility ability, where it will resurrect his minions, heal himself and his minions, and also do a status cleanse. I'm really interested if this will be a squad-wide or just for Uriel and his posse, because it could have some really neat tech in there for squad sustain. His third ability will suck out the souls of nearby enemies and seem to do a frontal cone damage and apply a damage vulnerability debuff, which is never a bad thing to have in your missions. And finally, his fourth ability literally set the tile on fire all around him, and was dealing some really impressive damage values to the enemies in the dev stream, but we'll have to see just how powerful this is once we get our hands on him on December 10th with the launch of the old piece, which you can bet I'll be doing a bunch of builds with him and checking him out on release day, so make sure to sub for more tips and swing by my stream if you need any help.